Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most beautiful love stories ever told, a tale of loyalty, kindness, and unexpected blessings. It's the story of Ruth and Boaz from the Old Testament. This isn't just an ancient story. It's packed with lessons about faith, character, and how acts of kindness can completely change the course of a life. Our story starts with a woman named Naomi. She and her family moved from Bethlehem to a foreign land called Moab to escape a famine. But tragedy struck. Her husband died, and later, her two sons also passed away, leaving Naomi with her two Moabite daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. Heartbroken and alone, Naomi decided to return to her homeland, Bethlehem. She urged her daughters-in-law to go back to their own families, where they could find new husbands and new lives. Orpah, with tears in her eyes, kissed Naomi goodbye. But Ruth refused to leave. This is where we hear some of the most famous words in the Bible. Ruth tells Naomi, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." This incredible display of loyalty is the foundation of our entire story. Ruth chose to stick with Naomi, even though it meant leaving her home and venturing into an unknown future. So Ruth and Naomi arrive in Bethlehem with nothing. To support themselves, Ruth goes to work in the fields, gathering leftover grain after the harvesters, a practice called gleaning, which was a provision for the poor. By what seems like a coincidence, she ends up in a field belonging to a wealthy and respected man named Boaz. Boaz notices Ruth right away. He sees her hard work and her humble spirit. He asks his workers about her and learns that she's the Moabite woman who returned with Naomi, showing incredible loyalty to her mother-in-law. Boaz is deeply impressed. He approaches Ruth and tells her to glean only in his fields, where she will be safe. He even instructs his workers to leave extra grain for her to gather. He offers her water and shares his food with her. This is a huge act of kindness. Boaz goes above and beyond what was required, showing his generous and protective character. When Ruth returns to Naomi with a huge amount of grain, Naomi is amazed. She asks where Ruth had worked, and when she hears the name Boaz, a spark of hope ignites. Naomi reveals that Boaz is a close relative, a kinsman redeemer. This was a specific role in their culture. A kinsman redeemer had the opportunity to marry a deceased relative's widow to protect the family line and property. Naomi sees a potential future for Ruth that she hadn't dared to dream of. Following Naomi's wise advice, Ruth takes a bold step of faith. During the harvest festival, she goes to the threshing floor where Boaz is sleeping, uncovers his feet, and lies down. In their culture, this was a symbolic and respectful way of proposing marriage, asking him to be her kinsman redeemer and spread the corner of his garment over her. When Boaz wakes up, he's startled but understands the meaning of her action. He is honored by her proposal and praises her character once again. He calls her a woman of noble character. There is just one problem. There is another kinsman redeemer who is more closely related and has the first right. But Boaz promises to sort it out. True to his word, the very next day, Boaz goes to the city gate and speaks with the other relative. When the other man learns that marrying Ruth also means taking on Naomi's land and responsibilities, he declines. This clears the way for Boaz. Before the town elders, Boaz officially declares his intention to marry Ruth and redeem Naomi's family property. And so Boaz marries Ruth. They have a son named Obed. The women of Bethlehem celebrate with Naomi, saying, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel." Naomi, who once called herself Mara, which means bitter, is now filled with joy, cradling her grandson. But the story doesn't end there. Their son, Obed, would become the father of Jesse, and Jesse would become the father of King David. This places Ruth, a foreigner from Moab, directly in the lineage of Israel's greatest king, and even more significantly in the lineage of Jesus Christ. The story of Ruth and Boaz is a powerful reminder that our choices matter.